Hello and welcome back to In the Weeds, the world's best restaurant gossip show. We've seen it all from chaotic customers to crazy bosses, so we're about to tell you some more stories today.
Each story we tell is completely anonymous, but completely true. You won't know the places we're talking about, but if you do, keep quiet.
Now welcome to this week's... In today's episode, we're joined by our second guest of the season, our very good friend, Noah! Yay!
Thank you for having me.
Of
Hello.
course, hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. Now, Noah, could you please share with the audience, what is it that you do?
So I can't disclose where I work.
No.
Yes,
okay.
keep it
Anonymous.
Anonymous, okay.
We like it that way.
Let's say I work at a local bar in the kitchen.
Very
All
nice,
right,
very
good,
nice.
Good, nice. So, first off, you work in the back, right?
Yes.
Right, so what's the process with that?
So usually it depends if I'm working in the morning. A lot of the morning is prep work, and it's really setting up for the nighttime. Obviously, it's a bar, so the night is very busy. And if I'm working the night, you're just making orders and serving the people.
It's also very well known for its pizza, correct?
Yes.
And so, has this ruined pizza for you, especially being in the kitchen?
I thought it would, but it's actually brought back, or not brought back, but, I've actually had a greater appreciation for pizza now, and I find myself craving pizza more and more, which is, really
Interesting.
weird.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Now, do you still crave like the pizza that you make, or do you just want pizza that?
I guess just pizza in general.
That's fair. Yeah. It's like my pizza's not great, but this pizza's good.
Yeah, honestly, recently I found out that, like the pizza I make, I'm not that partial to it, or I don't know how to say it. Like it's
Indifferent.
I'm indifferent, but I still like other.
No,
other
understandable.
places.
Every place that I've worked where I've had to make food, I get sick of the food that I make, and it's kind of hard, honestly, when you're like in a rush when you're getting orders to think of it as food that people are gonna eat. You just think of it as like, oh, I have to do this task and stuff, and then you're like, oh, right, this has to taste good.
You like presentation.
Yeah,
I'm like,
presentation
oh, this has to look
mainly.
good.
Yeah. And then you forget it's like, oh.
Yeah, my mindset is like, oh, it's bar food, and we're at a college,
Right.
So like,
This is true.
whatever, and they're not gonna tip me at the end of the day. So,
I will always
insane.
tip you.
Yeah.
I always
thank you, I appreciate that.
So the shifts are hard, right? It's like it's so many customers
varies, yeah.
coming. Yeah. What's the busiest night of the week, you would say?
Whenever there's a game, football games, basketball games.
Understandable.
Yeah.
I feel like that's it for most bars, but
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
yours is probably really different because do people come in and sit, or do you think it's mostly just people come in and they stand around and they talk?
I think it comes in waves. If it's like a game night, people will start to come in. Like usually it's an older audience that comes in and they'll sit down with their families. But then later at night, you'll have like a ton of college students that come in and congregate and
Me
around
included.
the bar.
Yeah.
Me included.
Yeah.
Well, I hope not.
Well, no. I really like the pizza. I love the pizza
Yes,
there.
good.
No, I will
good
say I
pizza.
do. I am probably one of the people that ruin your day. Not entirely ruin your day, but I do. That is a nice spot to where I go to like watch games like during the day.
Yeah.
I'd watch like a lot of football. Not a lot of. I'd watch like a couple games. And I'm talking like I'm like a huge avid fan. I watched like 2 games at this place, but no, it's a great spot to go.
Seems pretty great. So if the shifts are hard, what's the main thing you do to get through the shifts each day? Like, what's one thing that you think is just like the most important thing to remember going through a shift? Just like if it's hard, you're getting through it. Keep thinking this to yourself.
That's tough. If it's really difficult, I always think about my coworker because I'm always working with somebody, and it's like, hey, they're going through the same thing.
True.
If you fall behind, they're gonna start falling behind. So it's good to keep the same pace that they're going at, and so that they don't, fall behind.
Right. Yeah. There's just like a process. So how are your coworkers? What's the vibe
I love
like?
them
Really?
so much
Most of them?
because my previous jobs, it's always been with older people, adults, I would say.
Understandable. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
these people are from they're also students, and they're in their like early 20s, 21, 20. So
That's pretty great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
so
there
I get
any-
along with them.
That's
That's
good.
nice. It's probably nice to have like Like again, like peers that you work with, because I know
exactly, yeah.
I definitely
most
it's
of
like,
the places I've worked at, it's just been like I'm like the youngest.
yeah,
So
it's either like 16 or
yeah,
like 40,
or they're like
in
40,
between.
50-year-olds, retired people.
Now going off that, you mentioned because you do work as a student. How does that like? How do you find that balance between both like trying to balance your school life and your work life? Because I know for a lot of people, it's like people say, "Oh, school is my job," but you have to like kind of do both. And I know a lot of people have to do both. Like,
and especially like with your social life and everything too.
Yeah, how do you juggle?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say it's definitely I've definitely have to become like I've had to get used to it because my night shifts will usually start at 5 and I'll go home around 1 o'clock.
Oof.
I feel awful coming back to the dorm and I have to like my roommates will wake up. But other than that, like my usual bedtime is around like 2 or 3. So it's not that crazy.
Yeah.
But as far as like balancing a social life with my work, the good thing is I work at a bar.
This is true.
So sometimes after my shift, if I'm feeling up to it, I'll like socialize with my coworkers. A lot of my coworkers will visit, when they're off the clock.
That's pretty nice.
yeah.
And you guys just like hang out afterwards.
Yeah,
I remember.
exactly. Share a few drinks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty fun. Yeah. But I mean, like, other than that, do you think any of your coworkers are just like crazy? Anything that you've seen that's just like the wildest story that your coworker's done?
There's a lot of stories. Can I share like personal
Oh
experience?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, for sure.
Okay. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
think, yeah.
We like to keep it PG-13 on the show.
okay.
I think
I'll
PG in like the 80s, so where like
Yeah,
they
well,
swear.
we'll do
but,
fine,
all
yeah.
that, but
Just say whatever, and if you say
say
something
whatever.
super crazy, we'll bleep it out.
Okay,
which we
so,
have.
I'll like set the tone. So my coworker and I are I think it was the game day. I believe it was on a weekend, and we're slammed with orders, and we're in this rush like
As it
hours.
goes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awful.
Literally
right?
no breaks. Just
Yeah,
like
we're literally in
continuously.
hell. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're in this rush, and the phone starts ringing. I'm like, okay, it's just like probably someone ordering food, So we ignore it for about 3 to 4 minutes. We're finally done with the rush, and both of us are looking at each other like, okay, who's gonna pick up the phone? And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll do it. I go up, I pick up the phone, and the person on the other end is like, who is this? The phone rang 27 effing times, and I can't say their name, but like this is the owner. Who is this? Who's working? And I'm like, oh, it's Noah. I'm sorry, we were in a rush. And then he orders 16 large pizzas, like right after a rush, and we're like out of everything already. Oh my! So
And this was the owner, you said?
yes, this is the owner of the franchise.
Why did his phone ring so many times?
Well, it was just like he was waiting, and we left the.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you meant somebody called him like 27 times just from the phone on the work phone.
No, he was actually calling us, and
Oh,
yeah, it was
Lord.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes more
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
So we were out of everything, and they're like, "Hey, Noah, you need to go next door to the other store, because we're out of ingredients, and get more ingredients." I go over, and then their store manager yells at me because I don't have a business card. So within like 20 minutes, my owner yelled at me, and then a manager of another store yelled at me.
Oh, I hate that. I feel like the relationship between like restaurants that are nearby each other is like it's either like pretty like competitive or you guys are just like going through it together, because I've worked at a place where we had a competitor who's right next to us, but we just had like this beef between us. And then like I've heard stories of like different places, like fast food restaurants that are next to each other, like trading food, and like having that kind of fun thing. And I've always thought that was kind of fun, but like I've never had that because it's always been beef.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because the store I went to, when like we're on good terms with them, but she ended up yelling at me, the manager. So I went back. We had to like negotiate. Like, like we need more bacon, and like we'll trade you shots for bacon. I'm like, okay, whatever,
That's
right?
insane.
Yeah.
So like we kind of calmed down, and then we get another call from my boss again, and I don't know how to say this. He's talking to my coworker, and he's like, "Hey, grab a pen. You need to write this order down." And my coworker, he's like, oh, I don't see a pen. Well, the boss like is watching on the cameras like what we're doing. He's like,
That's
there's
insane.
a pen right in front of you.
Oh,
That is
I have
insane.
had that before. Literally, the managers, they have like all the cameras in the back, and my manager back at like long time ago, he would just sit in the back and he could see us just on our phones, like at the host stand or like the servers, and like he would always just like sit in there and not do anything and just watch these cameras and like be watching everybody, and then he would like run out and like ask us all questions and tell us all to do stuff, and then he'd go back and just relax back there. And I thought it was so annoying because it's just like take a chill pill, bro. We're busy, but we're getting our stuff done. I don't know. Just people like that are so micromanaging. It's like freaky
That
because
doesn't feel like productive to just be like watching,
no,
but
it really doesn't. It's like
Yeah.
it's scary because you're always like, oh, he's gonna watch me. Like he can see.
so he was watching your coworker, and there was the pen, and he's like, get the pen.
Yeah, okay, the weird thing is he like the owner, like our boss, like you know,
Mhm.
he wasn't at our location. He was in his Kentucky location. He was in a
Mhm.
whole different state watching
yeah.
us in Cincinnati.
They have it on their iPad.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I
They were
like
watching-
even
yeah.
when my manager
Crazy.
has not been in the store, I remember he would be like there was one night where there was like a brunch shift where I was the only hostess and I had to like run a lot of it. And I remember I was doing pretty good. I was running this shit. I was like, you know, like doing great. And then he came in for the night shift and he comes in and he comes up to me. He's like, you know, you did really great on the brunch shift. And I was like, oh, like, did somebody tell you? Like, you weren't here? No, he was like, no, I watched you. And I was like, oh, because he has the cameras on one app. He has like, you know, like the reservation app open. So he like sees all the tables and the covers and everything. It was interesting.
All right,
for
so
sure.
he's at the other location.
Yeah.
Right, the story.
So okay, he makes my coworker write down a huge order.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, get that pen. It's like right in front of you. And my coworker's just like freaked out. And then, okay, so like, okay, we go back to work. Everything is fine. We have all our ingredients now. We're making like these 16 pizzas. And then the owner like comes to our location and he's like, where are the 16 pizzas? He expected them to be done in like 30 minutes. It's a lot of pizzas to, you know, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
And he was like, he was kind of like rushing us to, you know, get his order. And he's like, there's a big event and I need these pizzas immediately. And then, so, you know, obviously when you're in a rush, you make mistakes
Mhm.
and such. So like a few hours before, I accidentally made some mozzarella sticks. So, you know, I make them. No one eats them. So they're just sitting in our like kitchen area.
Free to take.
Exactly.
That's the kind of the
exactly.
rules.
So
That's like how it works too,
Yeah.
because they're dead food at that point if they haven't been under, you know, like the
Mhm.
heat lamp for enough time.
Exactly. So I eat one.
Oh.
And then this is way before everything, right?
Oh,
So I eat one, and then obviously my boss is here now, and he's like, you know, where are these 16 pizzas? I need them. And he's like, and he like pauses and he looks at these mozzarella sticks and he just like blows up. He's like, why are there only 4 mozzarella sticks? There's supposed to be 5. Everything is wrong. You two are like slacking off.
Lord.
And he just went off on both of us.
Oh,
Scary, very scary.
That was definitely the worst shift ever.
that sounds
I mean, it sounds
not.
horrible.
Yeah, and then he
Great
just went
at
off on
all.
us, and then like he would leave, come back, and like beg for more pizzas, and like, dude, we just can't. And
It always seems that
terrible.
like when like managers or owners are like there and working, they're like stressed as hell. They're like, how are like this is all going wrong, da 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 da. But then like all the servers and like everybody else looks at them and we're like, this is what we do every single day, bro. Like, and then they just like blow up when they are trying to do it and it doesn't work out.
yeah, like what I hated the most that day was when we were making the pizzas. He came in without any gloves. I guess
Oh,
you don't
that's
need
good.
gloves.
But he was like behind the.
But he was
But
like-
it's like
kitchen.
if you're in the back of the house, like you have to have gloves on if you're like food running, if you're making food, no matter what.
I'm
you
like,
know?
I guess you can like wash your hands, but he did not wash his hands.
Ugh.
He started in and like adjusting all our pizzas and toppings, and he
It's
with his
just-
bare hands.
Ooh.
And you
like,
can't even
it was
you can't
gross.
tell him
It was-
off either because
'Cause
he's the
I
owner.
can't.
You know, you have to
I
just be
can't.
like, oh.
Like another thing is like he claims he's like like amazing at making pizzas, but all his pizzas are like really like lopsided or just like off. They're never like
That's always how it
circles.
They're, like,
seems
not
to be
cut
with
And I'm
right.
like, dude,
owners.
you don't know what you're doing. I'm sorry.
That's crazy.
That is really crazy. I mean, like I've had owners before where they're so stubborn and so stuck up on like how things should be done, and then like the managers will be like, do it this way. Like, this is how it works better and stuff. And then they just, like, the owners come down and they're like, no, like, this is how it be done. And they start doing something. It goes completely wrong, and then they blame everybody else. Mm-hmm. And it's just, like, you can't do anything because you're like, okay, you pay me. So, like, I don't, like, you got to look the other way, yeah.
So, like, overall, though, how would you say that, is this your first time working, like, behind, like, in the kitchen, or is this your...
I guess technically, yeah. I've worked at a nursing home before, where I've had to serve food to residents.
Yeah.
But I never did any, like,
I guess that
work.
was, like, super different, though, too.
Yeah, because, like, when I came into the nursing home, all the food was already made. There's a lot of pre-made stuff, and I would just go out and serve it. But, like, now I'm actually making food.
Yeah.
So, yes.
So, with that, how has that changed, like, your view of, like, the food you eat at restaurants?
Oh, my gosh. I definitely have a higher respect for restaurant workers.
Of course.
Servers. But also, I always think about how gross our kitchen is.
Mm-hmm.
All the little critters.
Wait, critters.
Yeah, there's mice.
You guys have mice?
We have little ratatouilles.
No,
oh.
you gotta
I'm being
no
very,
wonder
I'm
the
very honest.
pizza's
There was
so
a
good.
rat problem once in a fancy restaurant I had, and it like the rat poison smelled so bad that like if I ever smell like a whiff of it that smells something like it now, I just automatically I'm like, no. Like, it's just like...
That's insane.
And the managers are always like, just, like, keep it under wraps. Like, nothing's going on. Da-da-da-da.
Yes,
and you just have to, like,
yes,
you just have to
yes.
keep going. And you're like, oh, Lord. Like, you keep it as clean as you can. But, like, when things are in a rush and when you're, like stressed out and you have so many things to do, you're not really thinking, oh, let me wipe this. Let me wipe that. It's like, you know, you're like, let me clean it afterwards.
It's all the... Like, I promise, like, where the food is made, like, you know, the... cutting boards and all that.
Oh, yeah,
that's
all
clean.
clean.
We clean that every day, like twice a day.
Sweet.
But it's all like the little spots you can't get to,
Oh,
like
I
behind the fridge, or and it's a bar.
Underneath, like, the oven or something.
Exactly.
You know, like, it does get pretty dirty. And people are like, well, I mean, they have to have, like, the food inspectors and everything. We clean more for those. Like, it's like a whole thing.
I don't trust the food inspectors because the
I mean,
food inspector came in and we were still working the next day. So
I remember one time I had to clean out like the industrial fridge and like also like the behind the industrial fridge.
Oh.
I did it for like 2 hours just cleaning.
And it's all just like sticky.
It's all
somehow,
sludge. It's
and,
just
like,
the grease.
Just, like,
it just accumulates
It's
and it's
awful.
disgusting.
So it's just like I've been in the back of the house before and I've just like watched people do it. And I mean, like, even when I worked at a place where like the cooking was done in the same place as you took, like, it's just like all in like one little square, right? This was like a cafe place.
Yeah.
And so I just remember like we would put like tinfoil over everything, like to keep it clean and stuff. And then we just like take the tinfoil off after the day's done. So that way we don't have to actually really clean everything. And it's just like, I would do pretty good and I would like clean it as best I could, and the manager would be really honest for a lot of things, but there's just so many things that go left unnoticed. And it's just like you can still keep going without them, but it's just like people don't understand your food comes out from like the only really cleanest spot in the restaurant. You know,
everywhere else is kind of
it's just I would not.
I would have to clean like the entire like the walkway, like, so you have kitchen and then like behind. And then you have like the walkway where all the servers go through, and like that's where I had to clean like the entirety. Like I had to like always like mop the entirety.
Oh, we didn't even mop it. We just like it was just like you threw a bucket of water on it, and then you threw a bucket of soap on it, and then it all just like drained out.
Wait, really?
What? You guys don't mop?
Ooh.
It wasn't my job.
I mean, I guess that works, right?
I mean,
it's
Yikes.
all I know is sometimes I'd be sitting back there and I would just have to like sit on the counter and lift my legs up while the kitchen workers just threw buckets on the floor.
That's sketchy.
Okay.
That's like because that was like a 30-minute process. Like you gotta do it all, and then you have to like
get
everywhere.
People always find ways to cut corners.
That's true.
Cut corners, cutting corner,
Cutting
corner.
Corner.
So you have little ratatouilles.
Yeah.
Do they make the food better?
They add to the experience.
You ever give them a little snack? Like, hey, you want some food, man?
And the little roaches here and there.
I've dealt with roaches. But like
Those are
I never saw them, but I knew they were there.
It's just like
Oh,
I
yeah.
was told that like they exist, and just like,
my God.
where are they?
Yeah.
I feel like it's just like also when you're cleaning tables and stuff, you have just like a bucket and a like like a wipe and everything, and you don't really like reset it.
I
Just,
reset
like,
mine. I did.
That's great. That's good for you. We at my restaurant, we first started with like we had a bucket and just like towels that were soaked in it
Yeah.
like all day long, and then whenever you had to wipe the table, you just take it out, wring it, and then you just like wipe it down. But it's like at some point like that water's not clean anymore. So
No.
I remember I changed, like me and a manager at an old restaurant, we changed the process from like that to a spray bottle because we both were like, this is just like gross. And so we did it better. But then I went to a new place and we did the same exact thing. And all we did was just wring it, wipe it down. And it's like, it's just,
It
like,
is. It's gross when you think
Yeah.
about it. Now, I had one manager. When I'd have to like work like on the fryer. You have like the things of fries, you get the things of like the mozzarella sticks.
Yeah.
And I had one manager, he would always walk by, and every time he walked by, he would just like grab a mozzarella stick like straight from it. I'm like, dude, you can't do
my
that.
God.
You can't do that, man.
yeah. I mean, like some places you can like make your own food or whatever. Like in my cafe place, when we went on a break, we were allowed to make like a meal for ourselves and stuff. But like it's just there. When you haven't worked in a restaurant, you don't understand the things that goes on behind the scenes and everything, because everyone's just, there's always something happening that you like. If you thought about it, you're just like, ugh. But that's just like how it goes, you know?
Yeah, I've like accepted that. It's like
Yeah.
other restaurants are probably gross, but like honestly,
I mean, like you
the
just
food
have to
tastes-
keep
tastes good.
doing your job,
Yeah.
keep doing
If
what
it
you
tastes
can.
fine, I don't care. If
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with it, it's all good.
Yeah.
Truly.
Because I still eat the food at my place.
Oh yeah, it's
so.
because it's like I know how this is made, and yet I still love it. Like I worked at a place where if you ordered food, because it was fast food, and we closed at 9 at that time because like COVID or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I said it like that, like but basically we would like close down like the frying section like early so we could get out.
Yeah.
And so if you ordered like any like the mozzarella sticks or like the fries like after 7, they would just have been sitting there like for as long
Just under the heat lamp. You didn't have a heat lamp?
sometimes sometimes
Just sitting there, like
sometimes
just like lukewarm mozzarella sticks.
Like, and so basically, and some
Yum.
people are smart. They'd be like, "Hey, can I have fresh?" And I'm like, "You're a genius. You're a genius."
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Because
'Cause
otherwise, it's like it could be 2 hours old, just sitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gross.
I
Oh,
mean,
it's disgusting.
it's just how it goes. You
Uh,
know.
Now, as a bar, have you had any just horrendous, not even horrendous, just
Like-
absurd like bar people? Because bars,
Drunk college
yes,
student
yeah.
Drunk
stories.
college,
like
yeah. You work at a
anybody
college
just-
bar.
Like before I worked, I knew of I don't know if he was homeless or not, but there was this man who would always walk behind the register and just pee all over the floor. I think he did it once, and then he tried again, but they
What?
kicked him out.
That's
And then I heard this story like a month in, like working, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we saw him down the alley like just now. We're gonna go chase him." I'm like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah, I mean that's always how it goes too. When you start working in a new place, you just learn so much lore about it, like in like
There's so
different
much drama.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Like, so other than that, is there another one? Another like
Oh,
story
like
that
another
you
story
heard?
I've heard about is like in our parking lot, someone
Mm-hmm.
had a gun and they were like, pointing it at somebody, and then the person like put their hand over the gun and like shot the person. So like the person just has a giant like scar on their hand.
Wait,
now.
like you know this person?
I don't know this
Oh,
person, but that's like another story I've
That's
heard.
insane.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think the person I replaced, like after his shift, he went to the bar, like our bar, and he pulled a gun out on somebody.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I think that's who I replaced. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it seems like it's you don't
It's-
have too high standards.
So even like the
Huh.
even like the workers are it's
That's insane.
yeah.
No, I mean
there's a
we've
lot of
talked
lore.
about ex-convicts, felons.
That's true. Last
before.
episode.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
2 episodes. 2 episodes ago. The delay.
Yeah. It's okay.
But
But-
that's oh my gosh. No, but I really
You never know who you're working with too. Like sometimes you're like, oh
Yes.
man, I love this person, and then another server tells you one thing about them, and you're like,
Mhm.
oh, because I mean, when you work in customer service, you kind of put on a mask. But like sometimes your coworkers, you bond over like, oh, like I hate being in the service industry, like I hate having to like talk in the customer service voice, but like they also, like you don't know everything about each other. It's like,
Yeah.
ugh.
I remember a coworker tried to fight me one time.
Oh,
I won't disclose why, but he was
Okay.
like,
It's all good.
I think I was getting on his nerves. I was just like, playing along, like just usually like how I am. But he told me like he was gonna throw me in the fryer in the trash,
Oh.
and then like I was
Wait,
terrified.
like in that order, like he's gonna throw you in the
He's like-
fryer.
he's like,
And
I'm
then
gonna
in the
throw you-
trash, yeah.
yeah.
It's like once I fry you, then you're just getting thrown away.
I don't. He wanted to like actually fight me because he like took off his apron. He started like
Oh.
balling up his
Ooh.
hands.
Ooh, no.
I was terrified. Yeah.
it's just some people take
Out
it
of
too
nowhere.
seriously
Yeah,
too.
out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
like I've had coworkers who have quit because of how like stressed they get over like the restaurant stuff, and
Yeah.
at some point it's like it's just a job. Like it's like you just do your job and like leave. Like don't take it personally.
doesn't
I don't
have to be
know. Yeah,
personal,
it does
yeah.
not have to be that deep. On God.
On God.
On God.
No, that's insane. Though I've never had. Because I've worked with like actual like gang fighters, and I've never been like threatened to fight. That's
Yeah,
that's
it was
awesome. I mean,
just-
horrible. That like I'm glad you didn't fight, but
Yeah,
You
I
could've
was
won.
like kind
You
of
could've won.
terrified, and I haven't worked with him since. But I think
Nice.
he's, I don't know. I mean, we're all good now. Like an hour later, he started hugging me,
No, yeah.
like
that's how it
repeatedly.
goes.
Right.
Oh,
And then
okay.
I'm like, okay, we're all good
Over-
now.
overcompensating,
You're not gonna
I
beat
think,
me up,
maybe,
okay?
yeah.
And then he just left without cleaning everything. I'm like, thanks, dude. I have to
That's
like close
horrible.
up all by myself now.
Yeah, I feel like also like in the back of the house and like even up at the hostess stand, you're always like just like gossiping with your coworker, and then as soon as some customer comes in, you're like, oh, all right, like you could be saying like, oh yeah, and then like my dad left and all this stuff, and and then a customer comes in, you're like, welcome, like how are you?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
exactly how it goes. But like, do you gossip in the back with your coworkers? You think?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Is it about customers or is it about like?
Oh, more
Each
about
other.
workers.
Okay, yeah.
Like what are your opinions
Coworkers?
on? Yeah, coworkers.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
What do you think about like relationships between coworkers?
What do we
I
think?
Yeah.
We are
Oh.
solely against it. We
Solely
always advise
against.
do not date your coworkers. I've had it gone wrong. I've known people.
Have
who've
you
had-
dated a coworker?
Somewhat, unfortunately, but I'm not gonna go into it
It's
because
okay.
it was annoying. It
I've
was
attempted.
very annoying, and it also
Attempted?
it, just, like, it like leaves like it just leaves like sides, you know, like
Yes,
you'll
yes,
like you'll try and date something goes wrong, and like for me it just like it left it just like always there was some awkwardness, and there was always just like oh, okay I guess, and like we became friends again afterwards, but just it was just like everybody in the restaurant like knows your business, so it's just like I'm very against it. Don't date your coworkers. It always goes wrong.
It sometimes
Especially
works.
like also if you're dating somebody
Sometimes.
and you're working somewhere and
It
you
would've
like
worked for me.
your partner's like, oh let me apply for where you work at. Wouldn't it be so fun to work together? I'd be
Oh.
like, hell no.
Yeah.
what are
that's-
your
not.
opinions?
I don't know, because like just recently something like that happened where there was like a relationship, but then there was a falling off,
Mm.
and then hey, like I'm on good terms with everybody, and I have to, but there's like always sides to a
They always
relationship.
want to
Yeah.
like switch shifts, and they're like
So-
like the manager.
No,
knows,
what's
and
the
it's just,
worst
like,
thing is like when both of them are working at the same time with you,
It's
and you can just feel the tension.
Yeah.
You have
and
to like
it's
go to like
And you're just
oh
like,
my God.
like also it's just like you can't pry more than you need.
And
to,
then
Yeah.
even
but
if
it's
you
just,
know like a little bit of the lore, and then like you're starting to choose sides now, but you don't want to.
they start to come to you and like be like guess what she just did. You
I know.
Like, all
and
this
it'll be like,
stuff. It's
guess
just
what
like,
he just did? You know, it's like
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
like,
oh.
So,
like,
but like, there's also another. I don't know. Well, I think there's another relationship within the work, and that seems going well. So I don't know. It's honestly,
sometimes there's like
I'm
you know,
indifferent,
like
but-
there's also like you hear things and you like see things happening and then like nobody knows about them, but it's just like secret little like like a lot of coworkers like to go out after like working all together, and they like to go to like different bars and stuff. And so when I was like
Or the club.
youngest one, like I obviously I couldn't go to clubs with them or bars to them, I mean like I never got to hang out with them otherwise, and so I would gossip with like this older server who was like she was just like my like older sister in like the restaurant. She would like tell me everything, took me under her wing, like told me who not to talk to in the back and everything, like the creeps. And she would just tell me like gossip and things that have happened, and then I'd be like, oh my gosh, these two people, they did this and they like went out to this and everything, and then I would like go into work and see them interacting, and I'd be like, I know what you did, but like
I know what kind
Yeah.
of
it's
man
just
you
like
are.
there's always it's
Yeah.
like we talked about this it's just like the place that you work and the place that you are for the most time, that's where all the drama is going to be. And it's just like, obviously everybody wants drama.
Whatever that word is.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think you have to approach relationships like in the workplace with caution.
Yes,
for sure.
I've seen it work.
Yeah, be very careful.
There's one of the guys who trained me. He was dating a girl at the restaurant, and they met at the restaurant. And I mean, they're like the coolest, sweetest couple I've ever met.
Yeah.
It happens. Yeah.
But I've also again met people who are. They're dating, and then it's like, I hate you, I quit. And it's like, then the other person's like, I also quit. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
no.
And
Now I have to cover your shift.
That also goes into the part that's like, don't take it personally. Like your workplace should not be like, you should not be like taking it and like, it shouldn't be like personal.
It's
like,
a little fun though. I
but,
would
like,
say it's
it
a
is
little
fun.
fun.
It is
adds
fun.
a little spice to the shifts,
we like
know. I know that you said the story of the guy who, pisses behind the counter and everything. Has there, I know a bunch of like drunk college students are always at this bar and at the place that you work. Has there ever been a time where they just like somebody comes to the back and they're like, oh my God, this giant group of people just did this?
I don't know. One time we had a whole like frat house just like come, and it was literally even like I don't know what you call them, but like the older, like really really old senior guy.
Oh, a lot like
super seniors or like
not even
alum?
a super senior,
There's,
but
like,
like this dude was like actually old.
Like
It's
He was
not,
like a father or
like a
something.
frat dad.
Like a frat, yeah. And
A frat dad.
yeah. What's like
maybe
the
that's how
alumni
long-
called for frats? I forget.
I
what
have
the-
no
The what?
idea.
Like when you're like alumni.
A brother? No.
Well,
that's
no,
like
brother
like
is
when
like
you're in it. I guess like an uncle.
Yeah, the
frat
frat
uncle?
uncle
Great uncles.
like showed up, and like he was
Grandpa?
giving a speech at the bar, and literally like the grandpa
A
and
cousin
like,
or something? I don't
so
know.
many frat guys were like
Yeah.
there, and they ordered like a shit ton of
overwhelming
ton of pizzas.
All good.
So
All good.
That's-
other than that, I'll hear like the karaoke while working.
I was about to ask
and
about
like
that. Just,
yeah,
like,
it's
bad singing.
it depends on the night, because if it's a really good night, the karaoke will be really good.
Oh, and
there'll be like someone who can
bumping
actually
in the
sing.
back.
And you're like, oh.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Yes.
okay, but then if it's like a really dead night and there's barely any people, it's like there's silence with the
Oh.
karaoke, and you're like, oh, cool.
Is it? I know that somewhere there's like that karaoke lady that loves to sing along to the karaoke machine. Does she ever come in?
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
think
Have you guys seen her?
I
Should
think
she come
I
in?
know who you're talking about.
Really?
I
Yes,
think,
exactly.
I believe that's the karaoke, like the lady who runs the karaoke. I think that's like her apprentice.
Really?
Wow.
She just because like I've done karaoke before and she'll like try and like harmonize with all of us and I'm just like what are you like, girl?
Yeah,
like,
she's
just
like
play
she's
the
like always
song,
on her
dude.
own, and then like yeah, I believe she's like trying to like she's training to like take that position. Of
Mhm.
that
Or maybe
lady.
she's trying to get discovered.
That's
something.
true. She's like actually
I
like an
don't
amazing
know,
thing.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not that great. She's not, yeah. So
That's sick. I think my friend's. I think our friend's. I won't say his name, but I think our friend is in the frat that always goes to your karaoke nights.
oh really?
So I'll tell him to really
Yeah.
Really
sing
just,
his
like,
heart out.
I feel like there should be like an audition or something. Like in order to like sing karaoke, you have to sing a little bit into the karaoke lady, and then like just so that
Or
'cause,
just
like,
be really drunk.
Because I've been
Or
in a
just be
place
really
where they
drunk,
do
I
karaoke
think that
and
works
it's like
too.
it's some frat uncles or brothers and they're all just like like annoying as hell, Mr. Brightside or something. Like it gets annoying.
yeah. It's
No.
like and if I'm like I work really late, and it's like I want to get out. It's like almost 1 o'clock. I'm tired, and I've had like a miserable shift. Not really, but like I just want to get out. And the karaoke on top of that is like awful.
Yeah.
And they're like
Oh, it's
tone
just,
deaf.
like,
It's like
constantly you're like, oh my god.
it's like a double whammy.
Stop,
I'm like,
stop.
just get me out of here.
Oh lord, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you also have to just like I guess you don't because you're in the back of the house, but like you still like your bartenders and everything. They still have to be like, hey, like how's your day?
Yeah, I really want to actually train to become a bartender. I'm
It's pretty
21.
fun, yeah. I mean,
lots
you
of money.
You have to be 18. You can if you're 18.
I don't think you can be.
I was a bartender.
That
when I
just
was 18.
wasn't legal.
No, it was.
I'm not even
It's
like.
just not legal.
But
Well, at
it
least
is
in
legal.
this state, at least I don't know about what the South is doing.
Actually, I don't know. But
I know.
Maybe a
it
southern
depends.
thing?
But
Yeah,
Probably a
that
southern
feels like a
thing.
southern
no,
thing.
I don't think so because in most, I think what you're thinking is like places will not hire bartenders usually if they're not 21 because they're like I don't want to have a bartender who hasn't tasted alcohol, But legally, you can, and I know you can in Ohio because I was about to get mine here.
That is kind of sick.
It's fun though. You make a lot of money as a bartender, but you just have to get used to like being stressed and like being
Just like
completely
watching drunk
overwhelmed all
people
the time.
as well.
Well, I feel like that it's just more like haha, it's funny, but like as a bartender, you like like some people like walk up and they'll be like, "How's your shift going? Like I know all these people suck. Like I just want to like let me talk to you. Like how's your shift?" And like blah blah blah, and you can converse with them, but people like that just don't understand that you have to get away and like do other stuff.
Yeah.
So like you have to understand as a bartender, you have to understand like, oh like let me get you your stuff. Like how are you? I'm good, great, okay, bye. Like you have to like understand how to cut them off. So like especially if you're working like with a different person behind the bar, they get really pissed if you're like just sitting there like chatting with someone, which is like that's what customer service is about making the customer's experience the best it can be, but also the balance of it is like finding when to cut them off and when to do your actual shit and how to actually approach people like that without sounding like shut up, like let me move on to my different you know.
Well, they're
'Cause
drunk,
you have to,
so
well yeah that, and also like you have to find a way to make each customer be special and like feel like they're actually being like attended to,
Yeah,
because
that's
otherwise
true.
people get really mad. But it's just like you
Yeah.
also have to
Personable.
be like, okay, I have to go, you know.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I definitely feel like, yeah, that's very different again from my restaurant, because mine was like a nice sit down Italian restaurant. We just had a bar, and so our bartender, just sitting there like occasionally making like whatever you make it,
Yeah.
or like
Whatever, what's alcohol, you know.
whatever you drink at drinking places. But I think we are heading the end of the episode.
Oh no.
We actually have one more question for you now.
Okay.
One more question. Do you
Do you
believe
believe
in
in
magic?
What kind of magic are we talking about?
Card magic.
Card trick time.
Good.
All right. For the end of this episode today, I will be doing a card trick that I am a professional at, and I've known this trick for a very long time,
Many,
and I
many
did
years.
not just learn it today.
Correct.
And I did not write down how to do it in my notebook. So,
Oh no.
This is the
are you ready?
welcome to
Yes, I
the
am.
Jack Does Magic Trick segment.
You know.
Cool. So
So, in the cards.
I'm gonna.
There we go. I wanted to do that. Oh, okay. I'll do it again.
That's horrible.
That's my bad.
Mine's not
Sorry.
fragile. My magic trick is
I
like
want to win.
perfect.
Okay?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
We're actually doing it this time.
Okay.
Here's my magic trick. Choose 3 cards.
All right. Face up.
Face up on the table.
And there we go. All right.
Okay. We have the 11 of swords, the 9 of clubs, and the 12 of coins. All right? So, now mentally pick a card.
Okay.
Now, swap the 2 places of the cards that you did not pick.
So you swap the 2 that I didn't pick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You did it?
1 second. Sorry. Okay. There we go.
Now, face them all face down.
Okay.
Same order.
Okay.
Now, shuffle them casino style. Don't put them all together.
Okay.
Do it like, yeah, like
so
the
just
cups.
like
Yeah,
Okay.
just like one at a time.
okay, it can be like any order. Right?
Mhm.
Okay. Is that good?
Mhm.
All right.
Okay. Now I will find your card. Okay. It was the 9 of clubs.
Wrong.
No!
Let's go. Let's go.
What?
No, I'm sorry.
No,
I
yeah.
do?
It's great. I think I know exactly what happened, and it's not your fault.
Did I do something wrong?
Yeah.
Swap
Yeah.
them.
Can I see the deck?
I'm so sad right now.
That was funny.
It's okay. At some point in this season, I will do a magic
It'll
trick,
be like a good bit.
and I'll
It's like,
wow everybody.
it's like each
Yeah.
episode, it's like Jack attempts a magic trick, and every time it just fails. Okay, pick a card, any card.
Okay. Do I have to?
Yeah, grab it.
Okay.
Okay, look at that card. Show the audience. I won't look.
All right.
Okay, now put the card in the deck.
Anywhere?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now using my amazing magic skills, I'm going to find your card in the deck with my eyes closed. Hands, I'm not going to do behind the back because then you'll see what I'm doing. And we can't have that. What? Put the cards up?
What?
Okay.
I'm going to find the card, okay? I'm finding the card. Okay, I got it. Is that your card?
No.
What? That's not your card?
No.
I knew you would say that because in this deck we have boom.
Yes,
That is your card. That is magic.
What?
All right. Well, it sounds like that does it for today's episode.
Thank you so much to Bearcast Media for producing this show and to Mios for sponsoring this episode.
Yes, and remember that March 21st we will be doing a live show at Mio's in the Weeds
Yay!
live at Mio's. It'll be March 21st at 7 p.m. and
to
we'll
8
post
p.m.
more details to come later. And also huge shout out to
To
Noah.
Noah.
Thank you very much.
Of course, we loved having you, and we hope that you have a great, wonderful week of upcoming shifts.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
And we will see you guys next time.